All right, what we got here, we got a D.I.Y sander. Now this is not just a D.I.Y sander, this is basically, quote unquote, a Bondo Buster. This is for tearing down the Bondo, getting it all formed out. This is like when you first put your first coat of Bondo on there and you got to break it down and you got to get it formed and shaped. This is called a 6-inch geared air sander. That's what they're calling this. Now, what makes this different than a regular D.I.Y sander is that it isn't an orbital dual action. It's a single action sander, and it's specifically made for Bondo busting, if that makes any sense. Now, I picked this up over at Harbor Freight. This is made by a company called Baxter. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. You can see right here, they call it the aggressive removal. Step number one, aggressive removal. Read a little action on the front of the box here. It says, gear-driven motors for the toughest jobs. Handles the toughest jobs with ease. Lightweight composite body for reduced fatigue. 1100 RPM for use on metal, wood, fiberglass. So we're going to go ahead and do a review on this. This cost $100 at Harbor Freight. This is a Harbor Freight item. And we're going to check it out and see exactly what it is going to do for us right here at D.I.Y Auto School.
Welcome to D.I.Y Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So I normally use my regular D.I.Y sander when it comes to tearing down Bondo and doing body work. But I've been wanting to get one of these, and I do have an 8-inch Bondo Buster. Let me go ahead and get that, and I'm going to show you what we're talking about. So I got this Bondo Buster right here. This is made by a company called Hutchins. They call it the Eliminator. And this is a gear-driven, listen. This is gear-driven. It's a single action. It's not dual action. It's not orbital. And this is what I normally use. But there's a lot of times that I don't need to use that big piece of paper, and it's just a smaller area that I need to work on, so I need a smaller sander. Now, normally what I use is my D.I.Y sander, which is this right here. And you can see this is a dual action. If you look right here real close, let me show you. Do you see how that turns? And then that turns at the same time, so it's dual action, orbital. This will actually work for the job, but the problem is you go through a lot of paper and you use 2 to 3 times more air, and it takes 2 to 3 times longer. So to save time, I decided I'm going to go ahead and get this. We're going to give it a try and see what it does. So as we open the box up, the first thing we got is our instruction sheet. It's going to tell you all about it. Owner's manual, safety instructions, professional geared 6-inch air sander, and then it comes with a Allen wrench. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to pull out the sander itself. And once again, this is a 6-inch sander. It is not a 5-inch, it is a 6-inch, full-size 6-inch sander. And you can see right there, same size as my D.I.Y sander. And as I turn it, I can see that that is a geared system. I kind of prefer a trigger like this better that can get out of the way so you can hold your sander. This trigger right here is kind of like right on top, and you can't get away from pushing it. Another thing that I noticed is this is actually made for right-hand use. The air trigger right here, this controls your air, is on the left side, which is kind of in the way if you're left-handed. And yeah, it's kind of irritating. And if you set the air for a certain air pressure, I can see that using your left hand, it would get in the way. Versus this D.I.Y sander, the air is not even touching the hand at all, and you can actually control it with your left thumb if you're left-handed. So yeah, that's one thing I kind of don't like, is the way that this is handling right here. I noticed the exhaust is in the back of it, which that's normal on these. That's where the exhaust would be. And it does not come with an air chuck. So let me go get an air chuck. We're going to hook it up and we're going to give this thing a try. Okay, I got a 1/4-inch air chuck. We're going to go ahead and screw that on here. Make sure that's on there nice and tight, just like that. And we're ready to go ahead and try this. Now, I did notice when I was holding it that it does feel comfortable in the hand. When you're holding it right here, it kind of feels like you're holding a palm sander instead of a D.I.Y sander. So don't take it to granted, the stuff that I don't like, that's just because I'm used to this one versus this. This is brand new to me, and it takes a little getting used to actually work a new tool. So let's go over there. Before I use anything, I want to put a little bit of oil inside my tool, and then we'll hook it up and try it. Okay, all it takes is a few little drops. We don't need a lot. We'll get a piece of 36 grit D.I.Y on there. Let's get over there, let's try it out and see what happens. Okay, so what I got here, I got a piece of 36 grit. I got my D.I.Y sander made by Baxter, or should I say Bondo Buster. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here, just like that. We'll go ahead and hook our air up, and then we'll go ahead and try it on this area right here to see how it breaks down and how our tool actually works. All right, so our air, this is an adjustable air lever, and it's also variable speed trigger, so I like that. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of vibration, which is nice. All right, so let's go ahead and sand this down. We're going to use this aggressive sander on our Bondo. This is dry. It's been dry for about an hour. Let's see how it tears it down and does the job that we need it to do. All right, we just busted down 3 spots that needed broke down really quick, and I'm going to tell you, this tool right here did the job for us. This is the job that we needed. Now, let me go ahead and show you something. I noticed that this pad is different. I noticed what the Allen wrench was for, and if you look right here, it has 6 Allen screws that hold this pad on. Whereas if we look at this pad, this is your universal average D.I.Y pad. Do you see that right there? and it actually screws on from the back side onto the mechanism here. So that's telling me that you got to have a special pad for this. Now, do they sell this pad or not? I don't know. I haven't gone that far. I didn't realize that this pad was a screw-on pad of this sort. But now that you actually get into the situation, you kind of realize that being a high torque sander like this is, it would actually be that way. So what is my conclusion on the Baxter sander offered at Harbor Freight? This is a professional. I agree with that. This is professional. This is not a hokey pokey, let's go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a DA sander situation. I would agree that this would be for professional use. Once again, this is a high quality DA sander. This is made by National Detroit. This is one of the best in the industry. But from now on, my friend Pete will be using the Baxter Bondo Buster to break down and tear down all of his Bondo. It takes a few minutes to get used to. This is a two-hand sander, not one. Whereas you can actually take this sander and use it by one hand. This sander, it takes two hands to use it. One for the trigger and one to hold it. There's no way out of it, and that's how it is. Another thing I like about it, it's variable speed at the trigger. That's nice to have. I did notice as I was sanding on this particular sander here, I have my compressor set at 125 psi, and on this sander here I had to actually turn the air pressure down to 80. I also noticed that my air compressor did not come on normally like it would if I used this. That's telling me that this uses less air. It doesn't use as much air to actually do the job. If we look at the paper, you can see it's still good. We can still use that paper, and it would probably work for a couple more times, I would say, for breaking down. It didn't gum up. It didn't break or tear or anything of the sort. Whereas when I use this sander, being a dual orbital sander, it would have burned up the paper, and I would have had to change the paper out at least 2 times. If you're looking for an aggressive sander such as this, I suggest that you go ahead and try it out. You can always purchase it. If you don't like it, bring it back and get a refund. But for $100, check it out other places, see what other brands are going for, and I guarantee it's 3 to 4 times more money. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you a tool that might help you get along in life and make your life a lot better. Do you see that? Okay. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.